Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the JL Wedding Podcast. My name is Owen.
My name's Caroline.
And as you can see, we're in quite a bit of a different setting as usual to our dining room.
It's like Downton Abbey. I always say, can we move here? It's going to be my living room, my new library.
Yeah, it's a secret library. So today we're actually at the wonderful Weston Park, just outside Telford, Shifnal. And we've got Kirsty and Katy on with us. How are you guys? You doing okay?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
So-
Welcome. Actually, we're visiting
Well,
you.
we're visiting you.
Well, no, thanks for having us.
Thanks for letting us come round. Obviously, so if you guys want to introduce yourselves to the listeners and they get to know you and what you do here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Kirsty, one of the house event coordinators here at Weston Park. Me and Katy come as a duo, so
we're like Ant and Dec.
Yes.
Kirsty and Katy.
As we've been talking off camera.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's your names, so we sort of sat there. I did it, Ant and Dec.
Christy, Katy.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we just look after all the events in the house, mostly kind of the corporates we do, but yeah, weddings as well, which is why we're here today.
And I'm Katy, another house event coordinator, basically just do the exact same as Kirsty.
Wonderful. So we're just going to kind of go through. So if you can tell us the history of the building, I think that would be a really good place to start.
It is beautiful.
It is stunning. Like the grounds are beautiful because there's so much of it. The house is beautiful. Yeah, just take us through the rough history and kind of what's around us.
Yeah. So the house was built in 1671, so a very long time ago. And then in 1986, when the previous Earl of Bradford passed away, it was then taken on by the new Earl of Bradford, and due to the inheritance tax, he couldn't look after the house because, to keep this house alive, it's a lot of money. So then he gifted it to the nation and became the Weston Park Foundation. So it became a lovely charity.
Yes. So it's really nice, to be honest, to kind of use that piece and say that every time we have someone take the house as exclusive use, they're giving back to the charity. And we're about to launch kind of a new campaign that's called hashtag Keeping History Alive, which we're going to obviously... We're very proud of that. We're very proud of working at Weston and kind of, as not just the house, we've got so much on the estate and 1,000 acres as well of parkland. So a lot to explore.
1,000 acres.
Yes,
Imagine having that.
Imagine just cutting the grass.
Yeah, absolutely.
My God,
Wow.
You must have some really, really good gardeners.
That's a really, really good point. So if you got married here, obviously all the funds from that actually goes to keeping this venue going and this historic venue and grounds and everything going.
Absolutely, yeah. It's such a lovely thing. And I think a lot of our brides and grooms and kind of couples who come to us, they are, they're very immersed in that because they know it from the very beginning. Yeah. And we do have them come back after their wedding day for kind of special events that we do in the house. We always try and welcome them back. No matter kind of where they live now. So it is lovely to bring them back and, they keep visiting, which is great.
And a lot of our brides as well, some of them actually have a connection to Weston.
Yeah.
Whether it's they came here a lot as kids or their family came here a lot. So there's always sometimes a link with a lot of our brides, which is quite nice because it feels like a home to them.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's really, really nice. Really nice thought, actually.
Yeah.
You're not
it's the fact
just making someone rich.
Well, yeah, it's the fact that you're getting married and you're still giving to charity at the same time. I think that is very unique. I've not come across a venue that's ever done.
No, you're just making someone
that.
like rich, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we are a very kind of family feel ran organisation, but absolutely, it's all about kind of keeping that history
going.
Well, that's great. Well, that obviously hits home with us being family orientated, considering we are a family business. So it's nice that your family is forever growing. The more weddings you do, the more events that you're doing.
Yeah. We're not growing our family at the moment.
That was a strict no.
No.
So,
not yet.
Well, so speaking of kind of the events that you've got, as you kind of just touched on, what kind of events are going on this year at Weston?
God, we've got a lot going on.
We have a lot going on. We've got a lot of park events going on, whether that's obviously our Spring Fling at the end of May, which are events that we put on ourselves, or we have other people come in that put on events and we're just the sort of the venue that they have it. So we've got a triathlon going on at the beginning of May where they're just using our estate really to have that on taking place. We've got quite a few actually. I can't think.
So as well as the park events, we do a lot of kind of we do our own in-house events, so our dine and stays where we invite the public. It's the only opportunity that they have to come and stay in the house with us. So they're kind of like dinner, overnight stay, breakfast following morning. There might be a gin tasting in there in the cellar, something like that.
Nice.
Or we've got Christmas themed ones when the house is decorated for Christmas.
Yeah, they're
which is
really
always
popular.
very special.
Yeah.
We do corporate events as well. We invite kind of groups from America for cultural tours. So they'll stay with us maybe 3-4 a week. So they'll stay with us and then travel around to kind of historical venues around us. But yeah, we'll host them for the week if you like.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That
I
sounds
think,
really cool, actually.
obviously, I'm guessing all this is all on your website as well.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
imagine.
All on our
I imagine
website.
so. If anyone is kind of interested in coming along to any of those events, they can kind of hop
Yeah.
onto there and find out all the details. But let's kind of get on to the main thing that we're all here for and what our listeners listen to, weddings.
Weddings.
So in terms of obviously the weddings you guys do, you do limit the weddings that you do because you want to be quite exclusive to your couples and give the best experience possible that you can to them.
I think when you've got such a historic building like this, you need to limit it, don't you? Because, like you say,
That's
you want
the
it
thing.
to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need to think about obviously the history part, and everything's obviously really old and valuable, and you need to preserve it as well, don't you?
Yeah, we always say that the house obviously lends itself to not weddings, but we absolutely adore having weddings here.
And they always look so special afterwards.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
We always have something that reminds, like each wedding, we remember something specific from them.
Yeah.
So it's not like every wedding's the same here. Everything
Yeah.
is very different.
And it makes it very, very unique and very special for the couple as well, because they know that there are a handful of people getting married at Weston Park. So, yeah.
And we end up feeling like they're friends afterwards. We get to know them through the whole process.
We always get a thank you card and updates on babies and whatnot afterwards. So we're not just a wedding venue. We do a lot more than that. So,
That's very special because considering obviously the venues that that are around that we work at that are solely wedding venues.
Yeah.
They're wedding factories, let alone wedding venues.
You can lose that personal touch very easily.
The overturn of weddings there where they've got literally like 3-4 a week. One bride's in, and whilst the other one's being kicked out the back door.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice that you are very exclusive on that.
Yeah.
In that sense, to cater for your couples. But so if people wanted to try and find this place, I think that's because this is a gem in the middle of the countryside that people probably don't even know a lot about when it comes down to doing weddings.
I think a lot of people, like especially for me, before weddings, used to know this is V-Fest.
Yes.
So I think if people know, going back years, if they had V-Fest, this is the venue. This is the venue, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, which obviously we kind of discussed. It's not a thing that it hasn't come back here, is it?
Yeah.
But I think that's better for the wedding sense.
Yes.
So obviously for the viewing process of people want to come along and have a look at viewing, touring the place, what kind of take us through the process of that? How can they come and do that?
So we do have like a plugin on our website. So if anyone does want to go onto the wedding page of the website, they can put their start their inquiry there really. So we do have a lot of people do that. We have a lot of people come direct to us as well if they've come for, like we were saying, some people know the estate anyway. So first point of contact is always either of us. So we take the couple right from inquiry all the way through the planning process, all the meetings, everything right up until the wedding day. We'll both be there on the wedding day, kind of that thing. So
Okey-dokey. So obviously they can do that, and then you guys. I was very, very fortunate to be able to come to your last open day. So obviously with those you're doing a couple of those a year. I'm guessing in different seasons.
We usually do one springtime, so March when you came, and then we usually look at autumn time, end of summertime, so September, October. Time we usually do another one.
It's good that you do that considering not only just from a business point of view as well is couples are getting engaged over Christmas. So when they want to start kickstarting their planning, it's going to be spring. And then they're looking for a venue, and then people who are obviously getting engaged on holiday in the summer, June, July, August, and they want to start their planning early.
There's natural flows, isn't there? So it's always really busy. Springtime, it quiets off over summer because everyone's thinking of summer season, and then obviously autumn people kick in, and then obviously it sort of quietens down leading up to Christmas then, doesn't it?
Yeah. So then from the viewing process, from going from that to changing to the booking process, how they want to book in with you, just take us through how they would then do that, turn that over. That.
So again, it's always through us. So they'll make that kind of decision. We'll congratulate them, and then we'll kind of do the whole. We'll sign get them to sign the contract, and then from there, there's various different kind of meetings throughout the planning process. So that we kind of put on for them. So it might be that they come initially for that initial kind of planning meeting to talk about what they would like moving forward, what they need from us in terms of venue, any kind of supplier information, things like that gets sent to them as well with the contract.
And all the menus, just everything sort of they need to help plan it.
And then kind of deposits are slotted throughout the planning as well. But the main event really for a lot of our couples is the wedding tasting. So that happens normally about 4 months before the wedding day.
No, I don't.
They are the best appointment.
We always sit there going, oh, I could eat that right now.
So we are lucky sometimes to have a little bit of afterwards, aren't we? But so they're a lovely appointment because we try and pair that with looking around the bedrooms in the house. So we've got 27 bedrooms in total in the house.
So there is accommodation on site for people coming from afar, but they can stay over.
Staying night before, staying night of.
They don't have to worry about getting hotels and Premier Inns and travel lodges.
We've got plenty of
taxis. There's a lot more stress amongst that, so that's great that you've got accommodation on site.
They're big rooms as well, so you can get ready in them, and with the 27 bedrooms, you've also got getting ready spaces for the bride and groom, which sort of lends in itself because it puts them at ease, knowing that they can get here at 8 a.m. and then just get ready.
We've got 6 holiday properties as well across the estate.
Nice.
So a very popular one of those for weddings is the Temple of Diana. So that one sleeps 6 people, very popular with kind of either groom's parties or bridal parties. So you can see it from the house, but it's far enough away to kind of separate them.
So is it designated bridal rooms for them, or
we've got kind of rooms in the house that they prefer to take, and obviously the Temple of Diana, it's got a huge kind of conservatory on the side of it, which is the natural light's amazing for that kind of like getting ready shots and things like that in the morning. So
that suits us, natural light.
There you go.
And then we always have 2 rooms in the house that the groom's party can choose which one they want, because I think people sometimes forget about them sometimes. So as much as we always say, oh, here's the bridal getting ready space, it's nice to give the groom the few options of where they can get ready and
rather
feel special
rather than getting ready at home and then having to turn up all suited in the boot. It's nice from our point of view, and also for them that they can look on both sides of the story, getting to see both of them getting ready at certain stages and jumping in between.
So you got a nice little property for, as like I say, for the girls to get ready and stay the night before, and obviously have that night before, and then obviously get ready, and then like I say, the grooms can get ready in the house.
So then obviously moving on from there, so in terms of the ceremony spaces, you guys have got quite a collection. Quite a collection.
We're very lucky, aren't we, that we've got a couple of large spaces in the house that can accommodate. We can kind of do kind of more intimate weddings from 40 is kind of our minimum, up to a maximum of 100 in the day and then 150 for the evening. So depending on how many guest numbers, you've got a choice of the orangery, which is our largest kind of space. That's your 100 seated really,
which is beautiful.
We're very lucky. And then we've got the dining room, which is, I was going to say second best, then it's definitely not second best. They're on a par. But that one is slightly smaller, so that one's kind of your 80-90 mark. And that one, again, either of these for ceremony or wedding breakfast space. We are also lucky enough to have an on-site church. So St Andrew's, we're actually connected to. So we're very lucky that people can kind of have their ceremony in there. Everything else can be set up in the house, and it's a seamless kind of transition through. So
I would say it's very unique that you've actually got a church attached to the building, which for logistic reason of travelling, some people having church ceremonies, they've got to travel a good 10, 15 minutes to an hour at times, compared to the venue that they've got, because they might have a specific church that they like. Obviously, the people can get married at the church, then come here, obviously. But then also, you guys also say you can get married outside. Is that one of the things?
So we've got a lawn space that you can get married outside, which we're licensed for. But we've not actually had a wedding outside yet.
Well,
so we really hope
the great British weather never agrees. But we've always got a backup option. Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that is the one thing we can't control. But I think that's such a great thing for couples when they do come along, that they've got the choice of different spaces to be able to do different things. So, for example, if they got married in the orangery, had the wedding breakfast in the dining room, and then I'm guessing would they go back for their evening party in the
so the evening reception always happens in the orangery. But we always say just make use of the whole house. Like it's yours for the whole.
It's so much more than just those rooms as well. We've got the library that we're sat in today. It's absolutely beautiful space. normally used for, your cosy tea and coffee, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
your drinks reception.
Drinks reception.
Yeah, and then we've got obviously all the bedrooms upstairs. So we always say, don't we, use as many rooms as possible because the whole house is yours for
Make
the duration.
it feel like your home.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
That's for me. God, if I was going to get married again, that's what I want. Because I think when you're looking at some venues, you go into one room, get married, then you come out again, then they change it around for your wedding breakfast. Then you come out again, and they change it then for the evening.
Yeah.
And you just, in theory, just reusing one room. But when you've got a whole house like this, like you say, you can have teas and coffees here after your meal, or even whiskies in the evening.
Exactly.
Something like that. It's just absolutely...
Like, just imagine like an actual summer wedding where, they can get married, like literally have a different thing for every single thing. Getting married outside, dining room for the wedding breakfast, the orangery for their evening, a different room for everything.
Everything.
Offers, like you say, there's no turnaround time. Everything can be set up as is.
I mean, that's great for us. We love weddings like that.
Yes,
but also, I mean, it's just your guests don't get bored either. I think that's the thing. There's something to see throughout the whole day, and there's internal doors like in here that we can keep shut off and reveal throughout the day if people want to as well, depending on your guest numbers. And
there's always something new for the additional evening guests. So they don't just feel like they're coming into a room. They've actually got somewhere to explore. And then I was just thinking of the cellar, actually, because when anyone staying in the house overnight can go down to the cellar after everyone else has left that's not staying on site. And the cellar's like a little bar,
after party
space. So we've got a dance floor, a bar. We've got a snooker table in there, so
it's a complete contrast to what you're seeing now. It's it was a COVID project, so it was developed kind of in that time. Great decision by the team.
The groom, just the groomsmen all in their tuxes going downstairs, playing pool, whiskey on ice.
Do you know what? It's always the groom's parties that are like, right, this has just sold it. So
like, can we stay down here all day? We're like, no.
And you got, like I say, the people who's listening to on a Spotify accounts and things like that. This is. It is Downton Abbey for me. Sitting here,
it has that vibe. It has
is
that vibe
so
completely.
Downton Abbey, Bridgerton vibes, things like that. That it's just the history, the beauty of it. Very few venues around here are like this. It's so unique.
We do have a lot of barn venues in Shropshire. I would say that there are a lot of barn venues. There's not very many manor houses, or what is that what you call it? That are like this, that have this level of character inside and outside as well. It's absolutely gorgeous at the front. The landscaping around is beautiful. So
absolutely,
and everything's so
take your pick for your wedding photos.
You go to obviously some venues, and the gardens are more of an afterthought, aren't they?
Yes,
but when you've got your topiaries all clipped and it's just beautiful, and the flowers are out. And even in any season,
pre-season,
as well.
it's still as beautiful as it is. Absolutely. We get comments on that all the time. Actually, when we're showing people around, is what will it look like in summer if they're coming to view it in the winter? And it's nice to be able to. Obviously, we can show them photos, but it's nice to be able to say it doesn't matter when you choose. You're always going to have unless it's a horrible, miserable day. It's always going to be absolutely beautiful outside. And like you say, we couldn't do any of it without our teams.
We're so lucky that we have a lot of volunteers. Like we have 150 volunteers on the estate, and that's through inside the house, outside gardening. So when people come in and take time out of the day to do some cleaning in the house or do the gardening and trim some bushes or planting, that helps keep
absolutely
keeps it looking so gorgeous in summer weddings. I mean, all weddings look gorgeous here.
You're very lucky. Actually, the wisteria on the orangery is just starting to bloom, so you're very lucky if you're getting married at kind of end of April is prime time.
And the jasmine's growing in the orangery, so you got the smell of the jasmine in the room, and it is gorgeous.
So your guys' first wedding is actually coming up very, very soon.
A few weeks' time, end of May. So very exciting. Very exciting. And then we've kind of they're dotted quite nicely this year, aren't they? Kind of throughout the year, up until kind of November is our last wedding. So
I'm just thinking.
I want to say that I might be there for that one.
I think you might be.
So that looks really, really nice. Looking forward to that one.
But even at Christmas, this would be beautifully decorated
Absolutely.
for Christmas. So, like say, if you're having thinking about like a winter wedding, and you're worried about venues, like here you've got you've got the carriage, but imagine this decorated for Christmas.
Oh my god!
We have a huge Christmas tree in the library.
So we have one where that table is there. Got one in the entrance hall. hall.
Yeah, and actually couples have requested that, you know, if we've had a wedding kind of mid-November, we had one a couple of years ago, and they were like, please, can we have the decorations up? So we did them a week early just so that they could have them, obviously. But yeah, it's a very cosy. Obviously, fires are always lit. We've got fires in nearly every room. So very special festive season. Yeah.
The house feels different in every season of the year.
I think
I
it
can
does.
imagine.
There's just something special about every season. There's a different feeling you feel when you walk around the house.
Yeah.
Like we've got a secret door in the library in here which opens out onto the terrace, which is great in the
That
summer.
shocked me when just coming into here. There was a little when we came in. I was like,
there's a door behind
I've not been through here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Lots
Batman's
of
secret,
surprises.
Batman's secret library here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is. I just love how it's so. You can just
So unique.
pick. It's so unique. You can just
You
pick
can
and
put-
choose
like I say,
anywhere you want to go.
I can imagine every wedding's different as well. So
Mhm.
some
100%.
people want an outdoor, some people want the orangery, some people want the church. But then, like I say, you can use it and tailor it to how each couple want it, really.
Yeah. And I think we're always learning as well. There's always a new request.
Like a new setup they want, and we're thinking, oh, this is new.
We've never done it before, but let's give it a go. If it doesn't work, we'll let you know. But yeah, we're always up for that, aren't we? I think we love the variety that we're able to kind of give to our couples, definitely.
And it's nice as two of you as well, that I think when couples are planning their wedding, they see so many different wedding planners throughout their journey, and a lot of things can get lost in translation when you book in a venue. And I think you guys really sell that venue, so couples instantly fall in love with you as well as that venue.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you take them through that planning journey and you're there on the day as well, because some venues don't do that. Some people have one for planning, and then on the day you have someone that's completely different. On the day
it is really special.
It is nice.
We've actually, I'm going to do a shameless plug. We've got a Wedding Wednesday series on TikTok, so go check that out. But we've actually we've just had our first booking. We're calling her our first TikTok bride because she found us on TikTok. Yeah. So we're very, very proud
She's
of that.
not till 2027, but it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
I've been there. TikTok is something that's completely different when it comes down to social media. But yeah, when you have that first one through TikTok, which I've had before, it's like, really?
It's amazing.
Something right.
Yeah.
Like, it makes us feel so good.
It's nice because that series is all about us being very informal and kind of
just getting to know us.
Getting to know
have fun,
us.
but give tips. Also say why you should pick you as your wedding venue. It's like a mix of everything.
No, I've not seen any other venue have, their coordinators do something like that. Yeah. So that they can get to know you virtually as well as...
Yeah.
I mean, we can't take all the thanks, but we've got to thank our
lovely content creator queen, Victoria. But absolutely,
who is sat just off camera,
yes,
by the way.
She's watching she's like our mother.
I hope she's giving you the fives after for that plug.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah.
Bit of round of applause off.
Yeah,
bit of round of applause off camera there. No, but that's crazy how... Does it just keep going up and up?
I
the
think
viewership
also
and
it's
everything?
not just, it's crazy for a different way, that I think with social media now, it proves how small the world is.
Yeah.
So like normally, go back years ago, you sell into Shropshire, Staffordshire brides only, and couples only. But this way, the whole of the UK, if not further afield,
absolutely,
you put in your mark out there and go, look at us, come and see us. Yeah. So hopefully, other people from across the country or even further.
We have a lot of kind of couples who maybe were kind of brought up around Shropshire or kind of the countryside. Now live in London. We've had a lot of couples who live in London who just want to come back to home, or they just want to come to the countryside.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect place for if they've got relatives up north. Meeting in the Midlands is a great
meet
thing.
In the middle place.
So because we're very central here, aren't we? So like I say, you're not far from Cheshire, Manchester, up that way,
Birmingham
and
that way,
Birmingham, and then London.
And we're not far from airports either. So if people
got
got
Birmingham,
overseas
Manchester,
family, then
we have a lot who have kind of the people travelling from abroad, so it's very handy. Yeah, especially when we've got the accommodation as well.
Yeah.
We do very lucky in that.
I think that's a big selling point. A lot of couples we talk to in planning their wedding, they talk about we want somewhere with on-site accommodation. and that's.
I think that's what everyone wants now. Like, as well as getting ready spaces for both the bride and groom, they want everything in one space, pretty much. I think most couples are going for now.
Yeah. But just going back to what you were saying, obviously with your TikTok and everything, because just like any business or any brand, it's you've got to be able to show yourself and be personal. When you got a venue, all you're basically seeing is a building. But getting to see you guys working for, because the amount of times I'm saying that we need to be on our social media and present, hence why we do this.
Yes.
So people can get to know us, and vice versa for you guys, that people are getting to know you already online before they've even met you.
Yeah.
Because I've had brides watch this and not actually meet me until the day. And they're like, I've just been watching you and everything. That's really weird seeing you in person. But yeah, Weston Park's very own Anton Deck is literally going.
Even everyone in the office says, like, you two are Anton. We're just the Weston Park version of Anton Deck.
Literally.
Me and James a bit like Dick and Dom. a bit silly that way, and we take the mick out of each other. And...
I don't know what that makes me. They've got mini Dick and Dom.
Mini Dick and Dom.
They've got mini Dick and Dom, haven't they? But one thing I want to go back to your tasters. Were your tasters? Is it just like the one, or can they book extras later on?
So I think the thing with our tastings is it's only ever with that one couple. We don't sit all of our couples in one room.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
So that's another chance actually to meet some of the further team. So we will sit with them and stare at the food and want to eat it. So we'll kind of make notes on what the couple are kind of thinking about what they're eating. They get an opportunity to meet chef on that day as well, so they can ask any questions directly there and then. Any amendments they'd like to make to the dishes. And also our general manager would be there to serve the food on the day as well, or one of his team. So
what do most people go for?
Oh God!
I'd say beef main is always a bit of a popular.
Yeah, absolutely. They do this delicious kind of feather blade.
Our chef recently rejigged the menus this year. So like there's an eaten mess, and he's decided to do it as deconstructed now.
Nice.
So it's more like
it's kind of interactive almost. Yeah.
And it just we did a taste and we both saw it for the first time since he'd done the menu, and we just went, oh my god, it looks
I would
so
definitely
good.
have that. Yeah. God. Yeah, we have a lot of other we do have requests, so we've got a set, obviously, the menu for people to choose from. But there is also, we had a bride a couple of years ago it was one of our favourite weddings. We loved it. But she was adamant that she was having kind of creme brulee. So we said, no problem, it's not on the menu, but we can do it. Yeah. So, yeah.
And we've got one coming up that possibly wants burgers.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at doing that.
Yeah. I'm sold.
We had one last year, wasn't it, August? Bobby and Simon, they wanted a roast dinner.
They just wanted I was going to say plain, but a beef roast dinner. So that's exactly what we did for them. So kept it simple.
I just wanted to talk about food. That's why I asked.
We're very much food people.
Yeah.
We have this thing in the office when we've got like a wedding tasting coming up. We'll list what the couple have chosen, and we'll all put our guesses in on what we think they're going to actually pick on for their wedding. So
definitely,
I do.
Yeah.
I do that with brides' wedding dresses. You think?
We do that. I do that with brides' dresses.
Love
we
that
always
game.
do that.
I think, are they going fitted? Or are they going to go quite
princess vibes?
Yeah. And some
but they always
people
fit. Majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, always just fits perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. We have one actually. So last August too. She was got to know me very well, and I absolutely loved planning her wedding. But she unfortunately she didn't have her parents on with her. So on the day I actually put her into her wedding dress, and the photos of that were amazing. But I remember her being so excited to show me because she'd kind of told me exactly what it was like before, and she put it on and I cried. I was just like, this is amazing. This is exactly what you told me it was going to be like. And really special. It was a special wedding.
Again, going back to that personal touch, there is you built that relationship up with her over, I say, a year and a bit.
Yeah.
And she's so excited for you to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. She was like, do you like it? Do you like it? Wanted my approval almost. And I was like, of course.
You look beautiful in anything.
But I mean, it's always nice if, handing a bride her bouquet, that's always a really nice thing if I ever do that. But the fact that you obviously put her in a dress.
Yeah, it was very, very special.
We have things like, we have one wedding where we got to know the mother of the bride really well. Yeah. And even on the day, she was still coming up to us and saying oh, how amazing did the day turn out, girls?
I was like, please just go and enjoy it. Leave us alone. Yeah. Stop checking if we're on time. It's fine.
Yeah, we're trust us. But no, you do sort of feel like they become part of
Yeah.
family. Yeah,
But yeah,
100%.
it's the trust that they build with you. It makes you, they feel a lot more comfortable around you, which is just the same as us.
Same as us.
When we need to
Yeah.
start, if they're taking photos, that's why they do appreciate with them, so they can get used to having that. They build that relationship then, whereas just like you guys, you build it
Definitely.
then off then. But I want to just touch back onto your charity, your new campaigns. How did that come about? How did it start?
I think
the campaign anyway.
It's always obviously the history of this place is endless, but it's something that we obviously wanted to kind of weave into every aspect of the estate. Obviously, not just weddings. So whether it be kind of the house itself, the restaurant that we've got on site,
Staying in a cottage, just coming to the park, using the kids' adventure playground.
Yeah, there's so much in the park as well that obviously a lot of our visitors might not know about. There'll be things that we are still discovering things. Some of the gardeners find things in certain hedges or whatever it might be. So it's all about kind of the education piece to kids as well, I think. So we also run a programme called Educating Kids Outdoors. So that happens on the estate as well. So it's all about kind of taking it generation to generation and keeping the history alive. So
And I think that's the one thing we're passionate. I mean, we have some people that work here that have been with us since they were 20 years old, and now they're in their 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's. And we always hope that it comes across from us that we're passionate about the place,
Definitely does.
and everyone
Definitely
here
does.
is passionate about it.
Yeah, so it's not just the relationship of that; it's the relationship between the people and the building itself.
Yeah.
There's still a relationship there between it. But as we're coming to the end, obviously, the podcast now, as we always like to do, is ask for top tips off our guests.
Gosh. How many do you want?
We did warn them about this. We did warn them about this.
we always say, just have a think.
I didn't think about it. You told me to think about it.
Like we say, it doesn't have to be about venue specifically or about the venue. Is there anything that you kind of think of that is,
anything.
or anything you've experienced, like you think, that worked well?
Go on, you go first.
I don't know if you're probably going to say the same thing. Speeches.
Yeah.
Is the amount of times I've seen people do speeches from their phone, and I've gone, just put it on paper. It looks so much better in pictures and in the videos. And even my own sister read her own speech from her wedding at her wedding. I was like, why?
That's my absolute pet peeve from a video point of view.
You guys must be so
speeches.
frustrated. Yeah.
And the best man's doing it, and then, oh no, where am I? He's lost where he is.
Exactly. Yeah.
For us, actually, when the light actually emits from the phone onto their face as well, so sometimes
it can work for that point of view, but then you've got an ugly phone case on.
Yeah.
Rather than a nice piece of card.
with a $5 and a bank card behind it. Most people have.
Or those flip phone cases.
I think that's probably mine, is just put it on paper and it'll just look nice.
God, I think I'm going to go from a slightly different aspect of the couple themselves on the day, making sure to spend time with just each other, take, I don't know what it might be, 5 minutes to go when you kind of, after the ceremony, just before you go and kind of see everyone again, take 5 minutes just to kind of have that moment together, because it's so important on the day not to just not see each other. I know that sounds silly,
it's not about
but
everyone else, it's about you two. It's your day, you're getting married.
We've seen a lot of people choose those like sweetheart tables recently, because that's a really lovely opportunity during the meal. Obviously, they can still chat to everyone around them, but they can have that hour and a half or wherever it might be just to sit and talk about the day and kind of
just enjoy that meal together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And catch up as well. They haven't seen each other all morning.
Yeah.
How was your morning?
Yeah.
I can't believe what she's wearing sat over there.
Who's that over there? That's my auntie. So I've never met her.
So she's wearing white. How dare she wear white? We had that a few weeks ago where someone wore white. I was like, oh my God, you're actually wearing white. Someone's wearing
brave. Very brave.
That'd be another top tip. Do not wear white to a wedding.
Well, it's just with the stories we can tell, but that's a whole different podcast. But no, well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us come here. But like we say, a lot of things are on the website. So in terms of events, if they need to find you guys personally on there, so or link the website and you guys' socials, and especially that TikTok.
Definitely
in the description. But like you say, if you guys want to see any more kind of episodes like this, just feel free to let us know. Pop in the comments and things like that. But please like, please subscribe, please do check out their TikTok, because that's something I need to go have a look at myself. Excuse me. But no, thank you so much for listening or watching, whether it's on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next one.